Hey,
Hello.
everybody, welcome. Hey, it's another Thursday, and it's 1 o'clock in the afternoon, and that means it's
Sauce.
yeah, it's us again, just like last week and the week before, and next week to come. Uh, yeah, it's good to have you with us as always. And today we are talking about a subject that we don't really often talk about, but I'm sure that all of us, including those of you that are watching and listening, think about, and that is the passing of some of our relatives, and the anniversary of their passing. Um, in the Jewish religion, there is a prayer called Kaddish that is said at every service. It's usually the last prayer of the service and all, and it is to remember those that have passed away. And it's customary that you attend services on or close to the anniversary of the date. And it just so happens that in our family, within a 1 month period, we have probably the anniversaries of several relatives, your sister,
Something
my
about May
mother,
and June.
our brother-in-law, just at the end of May to the end of June, there are quite a few. And so we observe it by lighting candles and also by going to services. And that brought up the thought to me, that are we the only ones that do it? And it, and it
Can't imagine.
and it turns out that basically all of the major religions all have some observance of those that have departed. For those that are in their churches or synagogues and all to remember. And I was thinking that's a good thing. That's a really good thing.
Well, that's why we say we are all more alike than different.
There's more
There's
similarities
so,
than there are
there's so
differences.
many
Absolutely.
similarities between religions and other things that we do.
Absolutely, and most of them do observe, whether it is major religions like Catholicism or Islam, Hinduism, and all, but even some of the smaller denominations and all uh, generally have a part of their service where they remember and
Mhm.
they give thanks and praise to those that have departed.
Mhm.
I mean, let's face it, it's part of life. Death is
It's
part of
part of
life.
life. That's right.
And it's one thing that you know that each and every one of us is going to have the same outcome. And also, the question is, while we are here, do we remember our ancestors and hope that the next generations will continue to remember us in the same way, whether it is simply lighting a candle each year or actually going to their places of worship to
Well,
remember.
that's the thing. I don't know about the younger people. The younger people have not given up their religion, but they've basically
They don't practice it,
yeah, they don't practice it.
like,
So if you don't practice it, you kind of have a tendency to let things go.
well, the thing is, but are you still practicing your religion if on the anniversary of the passing of a parent or a grandparent or something, you simply light a candle. You take that little special effort to turn on a light or to light that candle, that memorial candle at the start of the day and let it burn all day. So every time you walk into that room and you see that candle, you remember that person.
I would venture to say the young people don't do that.
Really?
I would venture to say they think about their loved ones who have departed. They remember, things bring back memories, good memories, maybe some bad, but yeah, I would venture to say
So let me ask you a question. Whose fault is that? Is that the fault of the children, or is that the fault of the parents who have not instilled in their children the importance of carrying on that ancient tradition? And it is an ancient tradition.
it
It's not
is.
something that just started, with
It
our
is.
generation.
But first of all, if they don't practice their religion, they're not going to even think about lighting a candle. Uh, our kids know the anniversary of the deaths of their loved ones, but
Yeah.
do they light a candle? Don't think so.
Well, or
So,
do
and is
we
it
know
our
if they
fault?
do?
Is it our fault? Normally, before years ago, I'd say, yes, it's the parents' fault because they didn't, exactly what you said. But we have, and they know we go to our synagogue and we light those
Yeah.
candles and we say those prayers. And they either choose to or they choose not to. And if they choose not to, I feel there's only so much more we could have done. And it's up to them to carry the
Well,
torch.
and also we have to do what is right for us.
Right. That's
You
correct.
can't force anybody to do something that they don't want to do.
Absolutely
You
right.
just hope that maybe your traditions will spill out to them. And also, it is up to organized religions to keep their parishioners involved in that process too. Um, you know, we look, we as Americans celebrate Memorial Day every year in at the end of May, and that is to remember service members that have given their lives.
Right.
Well, that is kind of the same premise. If we make sure that it is publicized uh, about that date, then more and more people will, I think, remember and observe it. Within the various religions, whether you are actively involved in a religion, a church or a synagogue, that's not as much of an issue, I think, as just being
Cognizant?
cognizant of it. That's good word, very good word, and all, because you don't have to be a part of of an organized religion.
No.
Most religions you can walk into on a Friday night or a Sunday morning and all, and not being a member of that congregation, especially like when you're traveling and all. If there's a need, then you find a reason to
Hmm.
go and observe, and it's to make you feel better.
Yeah, that's
I
right.
think that's the whole
It does.
premise of it. But
But that's why I think the younger people feel they don't need it.
yeah, in
They've got so much other things going on in their lives,
priorities.
and for some reason, it's not there now. I know our son puts out a flag for all the holidays.
Yeah,
Our daughter would. She's in a condominium, so that makes it a little difficult.
yeah.
But yeah, that much. Yeah, he does recognize the holidays for the flags, um, and I know that he thinks about his loved ones. I know that he does because he talks about it and he mentions it.
Well, you know
Um,
what? It's interesting, but in my phone,
mhm.
on every date of notating the memory of somebody who has passed, it's in my phone, and this goes back to my grandparents
Mhm.
and my parents and in-laws
Mhm.
and all. I have it in my phone, so whether I light a candle or not, that to me is immaterial. But for instance, I have an uncle who passed away almost 60 years ago, you know. But in my phone every year on the anniversary of his death, it's in my phone. And when I see my Uncle Al's name in my phone
Mhm.
and that he passed 60 years ago, at least I have a memory and I say, oh man, I remember him. And if it's as simply as much as that, it's been a
It's a
success.
success. Yes.
And we are in a technical age where it's very easy for anybody to do the same thing, to remember that and to notate it in your phone, in your calendar, whether it's on the wall or it's in your in a tech in a an app that you
Hmm.
have on your phone. I think it's important to do that
It is.
for two reasons. Not only to remember our relatives, but maybe to hope that they'll remember us, that they will put
Yeah.
when we pass, they will put that date into their calendars so that they know.
I don't think you have to worry about that. I definitely think they will. Uh, I know our daughter doesn't say much, But she knows the dates. She
Yeah.
knows the dates
Yeah.
because she'll mention it or I'll mention it. She'll go, yeah, Mom, I know. Yeah.
Yeah. And I was just surprised when I started to look into it, that how much of them do, because in Catholicism they do a Eucharist
Yeah.
in their masses, and that is to remember. Islam does it. In fact, they even go a step further. It's in the Quran, but they also have observances on specific dates after the
Right.
passing of
Yes,
someone.
I noticed that in my reading. Yes, that was very impressive.
It's just heartwarming to know, like you said earlier, that we have more similarities than we realize between the various religions.
Yeah.
And fortunately, one of those observances, or all of the religion, seems to be, to honor the memory of those that have passed before us.
I mean, I can remember as a child, we would take Sunday drives with my parents. And every so often, okay, let's everybody get in the car. We're going to the cemeteries
Yeah.
for your grandparents, and we're gonna check them out to make sure they look nice and say some prayers. And yeah,
But when,
now today,
yeah. Well,
a lot of us are scattered,
That
so we can't
that's the thing,
we
is
can't
that,
go.
today's generations are not necessarily located
Yeah.
to where their previous generations lived and passed, and also, if for instance, our relatives are mostly in the Chicago area. We're in Texas. Every year we just don't get in the car
No.
and go to
No,
remember,
but
but when we are there,
sure.
we do.
Sure, and I do the same thing my mom used to do. And I would laugh at my mom and I laugh at myself and I would take the scissors, or I do take the scissors, and I cut the grass. Even though
Yep.
it's kept up by the cemetery, I
In
still we still pull the weeds around the
pull the weeds, you
tombstones
brush off
and
the
and
markers,
yes, yes. And
place
I can
flowers.
remember thinking my mother used to take her shears, her sometimes her those electric grass shears,
Yeah.
and hers were battery powered, and she would she would take them. I take the scissors,
Yeah.
and it does just as good of a job. But it's funny, yeah. And you see people out there. You see other
I
people putting out flowers and
and I applaud
planting
them for
flowers.
doing
Yeah,
it, because it
yeah.
means that that person that is interned at that location means something
Hmm.
and continues to
Hmm.
mean something, whether they passed a year ago or 50 years ago, that they are still honored and remembered in that way.
But I can also remember my mom saying to me when we lived closer to Chicago, "Are you going to the cemetery at all?" You know, blah 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 blah. And
Wait, did she say it that way, or did she say, "Don't forget to swing by the cemetery"?
have you been to the cemetery lately?
Yeah.
She actually said because
When's
she,
the last time?
yeah, because she had moved out of the area, so it was kind of up to me to keep it up a little bit. And and I would say, you know, Mom, I don't have to go every week or every month because I think of our loved ones every day, every other day, when I use something that they gave me. I mean,
Yeah.
it's
Did
constant.
did she buy that explanation?
Yes, she
Yeah.
understood. She understood.
My mother would say, "Well,
It's not the
it's
same.
okay, but it's not the same."
And what can I say?
But
To each his own.
that's right. But we encourage you. It's something that is part of our lives, is to remember those that have passed away, and also however you choose to observe, that's up to you. But the important point is to remember, because it's part of who you are, and what you represent.
That's exactly right. Very well said.
Thank you very much. So on that note, we will depart, and
No, 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 don't say that.
maybe not bad choice of words.
No,
We will just
we
leave you
will,
temporarily, and
yes,
we
and we'll
will
see you
see you
next
again
week.
next week. Okay?
Bye.
Bye.